Hey guys, we just wanted to come and say hello.
Hi.
And also just talk to you about the email that just went out from JBOR about delayed marketing and coming soon listings. So, the first thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is where to find the forms on the MLS intranet. So, when you go into Flex MLS, if you click on menu, there's going to be a heading called Daily Functions, and right underneath that, there's going to be the MLS intranet. So, once you click on that, you're going to have several items on a drop down, and you'll click forms, and that's where you can find those two forms that they've attached to the email. In case you don't save the email, you can go back and get it through there. Also, very, very important, our rules and regulations for Flex are also in there. And the way to get there is the same way, menu, daily functions, and it's actually the top link there, rules and regulations. So if you don't have a copy of that already saved on your computer, please go ahead and download it and save it as a PDF to your computer so you'll have quick and easy access to it. I think it would be a great thing to have. And so Steph's going to take over and talk about a couple of the forms.
Yeah, so I got stuck with the good stuff. The two forms that they've mentioned in the email that she was saying are also available in the MLS intranet are also available. One of them is available in zip forms. And I'm trying to think. So that one is this one. So the North Carolina Regional MLS coming soon, no showings status seller authorization form, Exhibit 8. This is the form that you're actually going to be using with your listing agreement for your seller to sign if you're doing a delayed marketing date. The delayed marketing date, per this regulation, pages 3 and 4, gives you after the 3 business days of receipt of the seller's written authorization. So essentially, if you were going to have a listing and you wanted to use the coming soon as a method for either marketing, or you need to do repairs, or whatever your reasoning is for wanting to not have it go live in the MLS, you would need to have this form filled out with that date. That date is also, the coming soon gives you then an additional 30 days before your listing will go live.
Can you backtrack just 1 second on the 3 business days? Steph went ahead and highlighted it on her paper, but that's something for you guys to take note of.
The 3 business days is a little bit different than what we're used to on a lot of things. Calendar days on other things. This says 3 business days. So keep in mind when you are filling this out that 72 hours may or may not fall into a business day. We'll see. So JBOR is saying, hey, if you're going to do a coming soon, we're actually going to need you to also send us a form, and that's the Exhibit 5. They do clearly in their instructions say, fill out the temporary until date, and I believe they say, let me make sure I'm not
I'll hold that for you while you do that.
Telling you wrong, but that should be your delayed marketing date.
And I'll see if I can put that up here so you guys can see that.
And then you're going to send it to them. Now, the flip side to that is if you have a seller that is not going to be wanting you to list it in the MLS at all, this form is the form that you would use for that. There would be an additional step because per the, I think it was, what was it, page 63?
Rules and regulations.
Of the rules and regulations, you are going to then have them fill out the rest of this, and you are going to be emailing and sending this to the regional MLS with a copy of your listing agreement.
And their email, I'll bring it up close for you, is on the bottom in blue. So the instructions are clearly on there. So don't worry if you don't retain it all. You can absolutely go back to this video, and always the instructions are going to be on the documents that you're filling out.
So it's a two-sided coin if you are choosing to do a coming soon listing. It's a little more, I guess, paperwork intensive with getting things in different directions. But you will have to now send the Exhibit 5 to JBOR, as well as having the Exhibit 8 in your listing agreement, which I believe that has always been the case anyway. But you want to have that signed with your listing agreement and in your files too. So I think that, I mean, the forms themselves are relatively self-explanatory. It's just where you put them and the timing for getting them there.
The last thing that we're going to touch on here is, okay, so how does that translate into the real world? Do you want to do a coming soon then? So that's definitely something you're going to want to think about. There's paperwork that's involved. It has to go to different places. It needs to be done correctly. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, if you're thinking, I'm not even sure I want to deal with a coming soon, so how do we go ahead and make that happen still in a very good ethical fashion? So what I was thinking about and talking with Steph about is, so when you go on your initial listing appointment, you're viewing the home, you're kind of walking around, getting a good look at the home, and you're going to come back and you're going to do your CMA, and you're probably going to go back for measurements anyway. So when you go back for your second appointment, when you do measurements, schedule that 3 days prior to when you need to have everything done. So you'll stay within that time frame. And I know that seems like a lot, but that's really the only way that I could come up with as far as a time frame of how to get that done in a way that if you just don't want to deal with the coming soons. Now, what do you do if you have someone that's overseas or if you have someone that's in another state? So you're going to have to remember those dates, and you're going to be talking to them, and you're going to be building those relationships, and you're already going to have them sign that working with real estate agents for sure. So you're going to want to go ahead and let them know, hey, I've got 3 days to put this in, so we're going to take care of our paperwork on such and such a date. So that way, everything's done above board, it's signed when it's supposed to, and then you can go ahead and put it in. Do you want to add to that?
No, I know that it can be a little confusing in regards to the coming soon. We both are under the impression of you have 3 calendar days for certain things, but for the delayed marketing date, it says listings where there is a delayed marketing date being utilized and the seller is not authorizing you to display it until a later date, you must nevertheless enter within the time frame above, parentheses, 3 business days from the receipt of the seller's written authorization. So it's clearly saying from the date that the seller signs. Take that for what it's worth. That is a point of confusion, I think, even for me reading it out loud. And you make the choice on, I guess, whether or not you want to move forward with a coming soon. There are some advantages to a coming soon that you may want to explore. And if you do, you just want to make sure you're doing it the right way with the right forms.
Absolutely. So we're seeing in our market now, things are moving quickly. So we're not seeing as many coming soons as we did, I would say, pre-hurricane. But of course, we know that market is going to change, and when it does, we need to know how to do it right. So it's a good thing that the board sent out this information, and we understand it, and we all know how to fill it out correctly. If you have questions, don't hesitate to ask. And yeah, I think that's it.
I think so too.
Okay.
Bye.